I never thought I'd catch her. Not really. I mean, I'd felt it. Those tiny shifts in how she laughed, the extra time on her phone, the sudden work trips that popped up out of nowhere. But I'd convinced myself I was being paranoid. She was my girlfriend for 3 years, and I loved her more than I loved myself. Still, that little voice in the back of my head kept whispering that something was off. Last week, I got home early from work, which I rarely do. My shift ended 2 hours before hers, and I just wanted to surprise her with dinner. You know, normal couple stuff. But when I opened the door, the house was empty. Lights were off, but her phone was on the counter, and that's when I noticed it. Messages. Not a few harmless ones, but a whole thread with some guy named Ethan. My stomach dropped. The messages weren't subtle. They were detailed, intimate, and bold. They talked about plans for the weekend, secret meetings, and even little inside jokes that I didn't know existed. I felt my heart freeze, then shatter into tiny pieces that I wasn't sure I could put back together. I didn't confront her immediately. I needed proof, something undeniable. So, I waited. A few days later, she told me she had to go out with friends again. I followed her, keeping my distance, making sure I wasn't obvious. I watched as she met him at a cafe, laughing, touching his arm like I used to touch hers. My blood boiled, but strangely, I felt numb too. When she noticed me later, she didn't. But the way she carried herself around him, carefree and happy, it was enough. I realized then that this wasn't just a fling. This was months of betrayal, hidden under my trust and love. That night, I didn't confront her. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just packed my things and left. I went to a friend's house and slept on the couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything I'd missed, every warning I had ignored. The next morning, I texted her, "I know everything. We're done." She didn't reply for hours, and when she did, it was filled with excuses, apologies, and promises that I couldn't and wouldn't believe. What hurt the most wasn't the cheating itself. It was the realization that I had loved someone who had stopped loving me long before I found out. I had invested 3 years of my life thinking we were building something real, only to discover it was all a lie. I told our mutual friends eventually, but not for revenge. I needed them to understand, to validate what I already knew deep down. I deserved better. And I do. It's been a month since it all fell apart. I still think about her sometimes, especially when I catch myself smiling at old photos or the dumb inside jokes we had. But those thoughts don't hurt anymore. They remind me that I survived, that I can trust myself again, and that no one is worth sacrificing my self-respect. So Reddit, if you're reading this and suspect something, listen to that little voice. Don't ignore it like I did. And if you find out the truth, don't beg, don't plead. Walk away, because you deserve someone who doesn't need to cheat to feel alive.